So many Telsorks. What map hack is this? D2MR. No, it's not D2MR. It's Colbot with the map script instead of the actual bot. I am doing well, thank you. How you doing, man? Colbot offers a lot more features than D2MR does. D2MR only gives you a map hack. It doesn't show the enemies, it doesn't have chicken, it doesn't have automatic potions, etc., etc. That's why I use the Colbot version instead of D2MR. Also, it works for every act. You don't have to reveal every single act that you're going into, so yeah, it's just overall entirely better. Hello. Make red vex, blue vex great again? I would if I could. 2018 9 Annie is fantastic. Holy crap. That's a really high roll. A really high roll. I'm actually going to identify an Annie and a torch on stream later. So stick around if you guys want to see that. Let's sell some of this stuff. Yeah, you're not wrong. Pub duels, just in general, even without a Blitz Sorcerers, just messing around with them and stuff was just enjoyable. Just something stupid to do when you got bored. I really enjoyed it myself as well. I found it to be thoroughly enjoyable. I was gonna wait for that, but I'm kind of impatient. This one I might wait for because it's a full game. This is an F, 4-socketed, 15 ed, 3 AR. Cryptic Axe I just picked up. Watch. Ah, I wasn't that far off. Holy crap, that's hilarious. Oh, nice. They must be popping more declones. I know they were doing it earlier. I currently play East Ladder. That's pretty much all I really play anymore. I used to play West and West Ladder, but I moved to East because the player base in East is just a lot better, a lot more people. I'm actually a lot closer to the West server and I get a lot less lag, but because there's nobody really there to play with, I generally don't play there anymore. What kind of shampoo do I use? Um, that's a weird question. Sounds like rub the lotion on your skin, or it gets the hose again type of crap. Yeah, you could totally pop declin with non-ladder sojas. I thought everybody knew that. No, I'm just kidding. No, a lot of people don't, but I think the people who have been playing forever, they do, and they make a ton of forum gold on it, so. They had the in-game fixed, and then they screwed it up. So, yeah. Can you still dupe? I'm sure you can, but nobody's going to tell you how, or they're going to keep it a secret. A lot of times, there's private dupes that are tens of thousands of dollars that get shared. So it kind of is one of those things where if you're in the know and you have the money, you could probably obtain it. But the simple fact of the matter is most people are never going to know about it. I'm going to wait this one out because it's got a lot of players in it. So kind of boring for you guys to watch, unfortunately, but there isn't really any chaos games, so. I don't even know who that is, Kyle, but that's a reference to something I'm missing out. There's quite a few quality of life updates that they could do. Um, the realm down thing is really annoying. There's plenty of ways around that they could do, but choose not to. They could do. There's quite a few like glitches and problems and whatnot that they could fix, but they just don't care. To be fair, though, um, it's not really. This isn't a game that they really care about because it's so old. Although I've heard they make a ton of money off of it still, but why spend extra money on something you don't have to, essentially? D2 legit. How come that sounds familiar? Yeah, that sounds really familiar to me. I might have visited that one time or another. That's pretty cool, though. Path of Exile is kind of a swan song to Diablo in many ways. I don't know what it is. I've never been able to get into that game. And it's not that it's bad. It's just that I've never been a fan. KPTAC Bale 897. I think I do remember that. I actually had like a pretty decent UI for the time too. I don't know if you guys noticed, but D2JSP now supports drag and drop image uploading, which is hilarious because, here we are, what, 10, 15, 20 years later, and they finally have image support on their website. It's hilarious. It's like, how much money did you make before you decided that you should support something that fundamentally needed to be supported like forever ago? Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, like posting stuff you're selling or just, you know, showing off your EP to people or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just posting pictures directly on the forum rather than having to upload it to Imager or something like that. I just saw it today, like a little bit ago. Just gave me a good chuckle because it's like, why wasn't that something you did a long time ago? Don't lie. You've shown people your EP a few times. Everybody has. I'm trying to identify that crafted ring. GG. Okay, that hurt. I don't know how that didn't kill me actually. Junk. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's what I was kind of getting at though. He's been making money off of forum gold for, 15 years at least. At least. Maybe even longer. I don't even know. And it's nice to see him actually put it to good use for once. I just find it hilarious that it took this long. Ah, the Gavel of Pain. I forgot all about this thing. Well, to be fair, the idea was sound and it was a good idea. It's not that he doesn't deserve to make money off the idea. A lot of people have a hard time with that. I mean, oh, well, he's a douchebag, so he shouldn't deserve to make any money. That's not how that works. If you have a good idea and you capitalize on it, you deserve to make money, in my opinion. Douchebag or no. Anyone here knows a channel to get classic rushed off ladder? The one I usually use has been down for a while. I don't know what you mean. Jeez, that's crazy. I've never paid for foreign gold. I was always against it. I just did it the old-fashioned way. Not to say I didn't think about it a couple of times, but I just never really wanted to. Was this tankards? Yeah. Classic rush pots. If you're on East Softcore Ladder, there isn't like a channel per se, but there's a guy in JSP doing it. I don't know how much he's charging, but you can have him do it. I think it's like 20 or 34 in gold. Yeah, like if you only spent 20 or 30 bucks, that'd be fine, but the problem is most people don't, right? They spend a lot more than that. Because 20 or 30 bucks is usually not very much money. So if you do it a few times, every time you get paid or whatever, it adds up after a while. I mean, that's how Netflix and all these places stay in business is they charge you a lower amount that you can always afford and then you never cancel it because, oh, it's only $15. Well, it's $15 forever. And that's huge. You could do what Kyle is saying here, and Tony also. That's actually a very good idea because it's free, costs nothing. Turn it on, let it run, don't do anything. Day or two later, you'll probably be at least 50 or 60, maybe higher. Classic's a lot harder to level up, so. I'd play Classic again if you guys would watch. I'd stream me magic finding and messing around and whatnot if that's something you guys wouldn't mind seeing. I really like Classic, so if more people played it, I would be down to mess around with it more, but because there really isn't any true interest in it, it's kind of hard for me to justify. True. No, that's actually true. I usually watch it for a little while just to make sure it doesn't get stuck, or if it has like any kind of issues or anything like that. And usually once it gets going past, I think it's like Act 3 or 4, you're usually good. So, because it'll start farming instead of actually rushing, and that tends to do pretty good. So, I don't actually change anything though. I just make sure that it doesn't physically get stuck somewhere. I think the sorceress that I leveled last time actually did get stuck, and she had been sitting there for like a good 45 minutes before I noticed it. Golbot just doesn't really work too great with running around instead of teleporting, so it sort of works. Looked like a couple of those tall sorks, maybe 3 or 4 of them were all the same people. Same person, rather. Wonder what he's doing with all those tall sorks. Like running around doing rushes, or who knows what. Magic finding? Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's really not that hard to do. Once you understand what you're doing and you understand the scripts a little bit better, it's not that hard, really. It seems daunting if you haven't really ever messed with that kind of stuff before, but overall, I'd say it's not that bad. Did they fix where you can buy D2 keys for $5 if you VPN as being from Argentina? I didn't know they were doing that, and now that I do, I will go try it for you. Because that's insane if they're letting that happen. Probably, I imagine. I mean, Blizzard, for all their faults, is not. When it comes to money, they want to make as much as they can, so I doubt they let that go on for very long. But I'll give it a shot here in a little bit. Can you run more than 4 bots safely without getting a realm down? It Technically, yes, but technically, no. Because, like Kyle said, it's basically really risky. What you'd want to do is run some kind of proxy. SOX 5, most likely, because I don't think there's really any VPNs that work, at least not ones that are publicly known. So, yeah, if you were going to do that, you'd want to do SOX 5, and then it would be fine. But you'd have to set each 4 to their own IP and then run it like that. Depends, you have to have a residential proxy. If you try to use any proxy that's associated with a business, it doesn't work. That's been my experience. So basically, any VPN that's out there is going to be considered a business. So it's not going to work. $15. If you're only running one bot, 15 minutes is excessive. You can get away with about 6 to 8 minutes easily. Usually I run 2 to 4 bots at 10 to 15 minutes apiece. But I usually don't run more than 3. 4 seems to be like very difficult to keep from getting realm down, so I won't run any more than 3 at a time. I'm sure somebody out there will say, oh, mine works perfectly and it works great. I do it all the time. Hey, hats off to you. Every time I try it, I have problems, so. There you go. So, 4 bots at 7 8 minutes. There you go. I think the key is the chickening. So if you chicken too much, that's where you're going to run into problems. So as long as you're not having any chickens in your games, I think it would probably be safe. Yeah, I mean, that's probably what I would do too, just to be safe. If I had a massive amount, I wouldn't want to deal with that, so I would do the same thing you did. Even 3 felt like it was pushing a few times where I thought I might get temped. It didn't really happen, but still. You get that one chicken and you're like, ugh. Why would you leave a Berserker axe? Oh, because it's not death. Still. Was that death, I think? Death's cleaver? That's pretty fascinating. Normally people don't leave those laying around. Man, I really want a green Ariat style 5BO helm. The green ones are usually cheaper. The white, red, and blue ones usually cost more. So the green I don't think would be, it shouldn't be, too difficult to get a hold of. There's an 09 server you can mess around with at Diablo09.com where the classic population is way larger than the expat population. That's pretty cool. Is it just the standard game or did they mess with it at all? So if I ran 2 accounts and 2 bots and my game's around 10 minutes, I'm okay then? Yeah, absolutely. You always want your accounts and your characters to be separate, obviously, but other than that, 10 minutes should be fine. But again, if you're chickening all the time, you could still get a realm down. It's still possible. So you want to have super strong characters that never chicken, or if they do, it's like one in every, 300 or 400 runs or whatever, where it's that one perfect storm where it causes you to chicken. You can do that too. You could set the min game time. That way your bot doesn't just keep making new games all the time. That helps. It's still not perfect, but it does help. I don't think rotating keys matters anymore because it's all IP based. So even if you rotated the keys, I don't think it'd make a lick of difference. From what I've seen, I don't think it'd matter at all. Um, they kind of changed it. It used to be they were doing CD key follows and not IP. And then it was kind of both, and now I don't think CD keys really matter at all. I'm sure somebody will say that it does, but I haven't seen any evidence of that. Should be fine, Lucas. Sounds like you got it under control. 10 minutes to be safe, I think, is a good idea. Me personally, I hate realm downs, and I don't ever want to risk it, so that's why I would do it that way. Some people are willing to take the risk, and they know how to mitigate it better than I do, perhaps, but I just don't want to deal with it. The separate accounts is only because you don't want to get logged out to the lobby. It doesn't have anything to do with realm downs, just so that we're clear too. Because if two characters from the same account get to the lobby at the same time, it'll log both out. That's the only reason why you do different accounts. Now, there's even ways around that too, but I don't generally advise doing that. Yeah, that's a neat concept. Somebody was talking to me about that the other day, about that exact same topic about gambling and having bots purposely going out finding gold and then coming into the game where the character is gambling, dropping it, and then going back to getting more gold again. Interesting concept. I think you can gamble uniques, can't you? Pretty sure you can. I don't think it's very common, but I believe you can actually get uniques. I don't know that it's ever happened for me, but true. That is true. Especially right now with the chat bug being the way it is. Ah, okay. See, I've never really messed around with low level dueling or anything like that. So it makes sense. And I imagine with low level dueling, what do they do? Are they doing like mostly rares? It seems like they'd have to do a lot of rares rather than uniques because there's not really that many uniques that are that fantastic at low level. There's a few. Yeah. The magical items are the thing that people don't think about, like Jmod. You know, I see people leave monarchs on the ground all the time. And if you find a Jmod, those are worth a ton. Now, the chances of you finding a Jmod are basically zero. But you never know. You might get lucky and find that one. I've found one. Laying on the ground in a public game. Nobody picked it up. Nobody cared. And it turned out to be a Jmod. So, you know, it can happen. Well, you can get, what, plus 100 life. Armors can get 4 sockets and plus 100 life. Shields can get 4 sockets with the increased block rate and successful blocking. So yeah, I could see it. There's quite a few things. Jmod is Jeweler's Monarch of Deflecting. It's a 4-socketed magical monarch that you can usually put faucets in for dueling. It has, oh geez, I'm gonna mess up the stats. It has increased blocking and increased faster blocking. I don't remember that. I think it's like 30, 25, something like that. But the point is, it's 4-socketed with those two attributes and 4-socketed with those attributes, and it's a magical item. Which, you know, most magical items in Diablo 2 aren't used, but the people that know about them do. Another one that people don't tend to look for is javelins, Amazon javelins that have +6 to Amazon skills, because a lot of the skills that Amazons use in dueling, the plus to skills is way more important than the increased attack speed, or the faster cast rate rather. I can't remember which one it is, but the point is, the increase to skills is more important. Sounds like it. Oh yeah, I could see why that's rare. Definitely, I could see it. And the thing is, I don't think most people would think to even pick that up. Even if they saw it, identified it, knew, you know, that it was, oh, this is, you know, not so bad at low level, it doesn't mean they would keep it. So that's part of the reason why it's so rare too, is even if somebody did find it, they wouldn't necessarily know it was worth having. That's if they even pick it up in the first place. Would love to see more lengthy YouTube videos of the bots, Sorceress or Pally, running full clears of multipliers. So I used to do that, but I actually got flagged for spam. So I'm very hesitant to do that now. At least with this live stream, I'm talking and I can prove that I'm actually playing, and you know there isn't just a bot running. There's a lot of people who hate bots and will report you for everything you do. So it's a little tricky to do those types of videos. I lost a channel for 2 years because of that. So I'm not very keen on the idea. Even though it's not spam, even though every game is different, you know, they don't care. So unfortunately, I just don't think that would really be something I would do. I suppose, you know, you could make like, well, not you, I could make like another channel and or have like my wife make another channel or something. That way, if it gets banned, I don't have to care too much, and just do that. It's an idea, at least, but I'm not willing to risk this account or my Dark Vigilante account because I have almost 700 videos on that other account, so. It's not, and like I said, if I can have her make an account, because she doesn't, she doesn't use YouTube, she doesn't care. If she gets banned, it's not going to matter. So it's a good idea because you're not the only one that likes watching it. Seriously, there's quite a few people who find it enjoyable and relaxing to just sit there and watch a bot just kind of cruise around and kill stuff. So it is still a valid idea. Are we at 24 yet? No, of course not. Thud. No, I'm just going to replace all these with fuller Jews. What do you mean by any inventory management? It's not putting anything into the stash? Or is it just filling up the stash and not doing anything? I need more clarification there. Okay. So it's not putting anything into the stash, but it's putting items that it wants to keep in your inventory. So it is actually picking items up. Is it showing on your console that it wants to keep those items? Because it's very weird that it wouldn't stash them. I don't know why it wouldn't stash them. It's very weird. What picket list are you running? Or is it just completely custom? Because I'm not really sure why the bot wouldn't put anything into the stash. Anything it wants to keep, it should be putting in the stash automatically. As far as I know, I don't know of anybody who's ever been able to change the names for Sonic. Why do you need to change the names for Sonic anyway? I'm not really sure why that would be necessary. What is it you're trying to do? Because with Sonic, you should just turn it on and leave it there. There really isn't anything else that should need to be done. Unless you're wanting to follow it or something. But you could just do that anyway. Just type in the game name and password. It'd be a pain, but you could still do it. Having weird things with my barb where he takes out his belt and other items because he doesn't have money to fix them. Yet I've turned on the fix with Cube. Yeah, that is very weird. I don't know if the fix with the cube is actually working. I'll be real with you, I've never used it. So that might be part of the problem. I've always just had enough gold to repair that way. You shouldn't need a mule to follow your Sonic bot. It's not going to find anything anyway. I mean, I guess it's possible, but I don't think it'd be very useful. For Sonic, it's not meant to be a bot that finds you stuff. It's just supposed to level up. That's it. Now, yeah, it could potentially find things. That's true. And it does. And it has its own picket list. But I don't really see why you'd need to have a mule follow it, to be honest. Very interesting. Troy, if you can, message me on YouTube. I will try to run that picket for a bit and see what happens. And see if I notice it doing it with that. It shouldn't be doing that, though. It should be stashing it. Or at least identifying. Ooh, maybe that's it. Do you have your bot set to identify everything, or do you have it set to leave it on ID? Although even then, it should still stash it regardless. But maybe that has something to do with it? It's hard to say. I'd have to check it out a little bit and mess with it. Coulter, what's going on? He's wearing a superior armor with COH, so repair costs go up to 1.5 million all the time. So should I fix at 90% to reduce costs? You could try that. That's a difficult question. I usually leave mine at like around 50. 50%, that way it doesn't cost nearly as much. Yeah, you'll have to repair more, but as long as you're finding enough stuff to sell and get gold with, you should be fine. Mine! This game's already over. Wow, that is terrible. Oh wait, it's guided. That has the... I think it is... Is it 3 or 4? I can't remember. That one might not be too bad. You guys got to keep in mind, I don't always test everything that I put in my videos, believe it or not. I just don't have the time a lot of times to test every single picket list and every single script. I do try, but a lot of times, especially with the low-level picket, I've never used it. As I was saying earlier, I don't do any kind of low-level stuff, so that's one of the ones I haven't tried. It's just really weird that it's not stashing anything. Okay, that's good to know, Coulter. I'll check it out. Look into it a little bit. There's a lot of picket lists that are like that, where they're kind of like a baseline of what's good, but it's not necessarily exactly correct. And honestly, everybody's tastes are different. Everybody's wants are different. So, best thing to do with picket lists are kind of edit them and add, you know, what you need. Oh yeah, of course. I try to answer you guys' questions. I don't know everything. I don't consider myself an expert. I've just done a lot of crap that lends me to be able to answer some of the things you guys have questions with. Like I said, I'll take a look at it. Hey, the ward has pretty good resistances on it. It is pretty easy to set up. If you've ever set it up before, I doubt you'd have much trouble setting it up now. It really hasn't changed. I mean, if you've ever even used D2NT from way back in the day, it's basically the same setup as that as well. There's very few differences. So, yeah, it's very easy to use. Once you understand everything, and if you don't, I've got plenty of videos to show you how. So, check out the channel and look up whatever problem you're having. I'm sure most of the problems with setting it up will be in there. They need to be unused. If you're wanting to use automule, which I think is what you're talking about. You're welcome, Easy. Just trying to do my part, make things easier, and explain things as best I can to everybody. For whatever reason, the botting community doesn't do a very good job of explaining certain things, so I try to do it to the best of my ability. And again, I'm not perfect at it either, but I do what I can. That dude just hit me through the wall. I'm angry. Or he probably wasn't behind the wall, like, server side, but on my side he wasn't. See, like, right there he was hitting me, too. Do not want. What is this? It's kind of nice that this company, or whatever they are, runs these chaos-only games. It's really nice for them to do that. Even if they were taking all the drops, it would still be nice. They can have all the drops as far as I'm concerned. Just like to mess around. Yeah, most people do sea bales, chaos and bales, so which makes more sense for the most part, but this way I can level up a little bit faster and easier and not have to wait for long periods of time between games and whatnot, so it's nice. Mine! Can't have it. It's garbage, you can have it. Every time I snatch something from somebody that they were going after, I always think of that commercial with the guy hanging the dollar bill above that chick's head. You gotta be quicker than that. Every single time. Ah! I'm running right into him. He's got like a fishing pole dangling it above her head. She tries to go for it and he pulls it away from her. If you haven't ever seen that commercial, it's pretty funny. I can't remember what that's from. I think it's like a car insurance commercial or something. It is very weird, Troy, and see if it does it with another picket list, just in case something like really odd is going on. Something wrong with your coal bot, maybe. I don't think that's the problem, but what's the picket configuration file for the items to sell and farm gold? No idea. Mostly what you're going to want to do is have the bot sell anything it doesn't keep as a part of the picket list. For me, that gets plenty of gold. But it depends on what you want to do. It depends on how much gold you need. I'm sure there are actual lines of code for just picking up items to sell that are junk. I don't have those available though. Do you ever just run like 5 bots on D2 while playing D3? I used to run 4 while I was playing D3 and other stuff. Just random things. But yeah, of course. I've run bots doing just about everything. State Farm commercial, that's it. That's the one. Hello, Logic, how you doing? What's the, let's see. Because I can always respec this later. That's the one I want. Salvation, because that'll make it harder to kill me. But I think that's level 30. We're almost there. Can you run a pick kit with just playing manually? Pretty sure you can. Again, never used it. I don't use a lot of the things you guys would use. I actually enjoy playing the game manually and just messing around, so unfortunately I just don't know certain things because I never really bother to use them. If I remember correctly, I think it's a hotkey that does it. I'll have to look up the hotkeys again and see if it's in there for you. Circlet, can I get it? Yes, I can. Ah! Ping last time was really high. It's always really high for me. I don't know why. US East is just terrible. I mean, 110's not bad, but sometimes they'll spike to like 190, 300, a million. Open chest script is great for making, for gold fine bar, but with nickel. Yep, that's true. I always try to make my characters self-sufficient, where I don't need to rely on anything else going on, because ideally that's going to be a lot more efficient. It'd be nice if all the other things worked, but a lot of times they don't. Is this an F Hellforge plate? Nope. 4-socketed. Bummer. That could have been really good. So ideal is to have 8 keys with 4 bots running and 4 auto mules. Yeah, that sounds about right. You don't really need the extra mules though. I'd say probably 2 would be enough for the most part. But if you truly wanted to make it flawless, I suppose, you could run the extra ones. Again, you got to watch how many games per hour you're getting with that though, because even just one mule coming in like that could potentially get you a realm down, so I actually haven't made the druid yet, believe it or not. I've just been rushing and leveling. That druid, I'm thinking about doing a melee druid with an Eth ribcracker zotted. I haven't decided yet, though. I really like the Eth ribcracker with a Zod in it. It's insanely fun to play. Because it's just a really unusual staff that basically hardly anybody uses. And with the druid, it's hilarious to use it. What do you think about the D2 remaster? I hope they don't screw it up. That's pretty much the summary of what I think of it. Because while I think it'll be cool and I think it'll be fun, if they destroy this game and then screw up the remaster as well as ruining the old game, like they did for Warcraft 3, I'll be pretty disappointed. So we'll have to see. Blizzard kind of has a rocky track record, so it's hard to say whether or not we'll get a good remaster or not. Great for Ubers? Yeah, it's really good for Ubers, actually. You could do that too. You could do non-eth with shale in it. I just like the eth version because it's really rare. D2 remaster will suck. They're gonna let you choose your gender, be female, barb, male, Amazon, etc. I don't care about that. If they want to do that, that's fine. I'm not really into like the social justice stuff either, but when it comes to stuff like that, I just don't care. Well, if only Blizzard North still existed, then perhaps, but that's never coming back. Gone forever, unfortunately. A lot of the people who used to work on this game said they would never come back, so. I don't think D2 is perfect. I think there's definitely some things that they need to fix. I mean, let's be real here. Enigma is broken. It always has been. Enigma should not exist in expansion. I don't care. Everybody loves Enigma because it's convenient. But convenient doesn't mean that it's the right choice. I think Enigma as a whole is a bad idea. Um, that's one of the things they should fix. Rushing, again, it's broken. It's not supposed to be done that way. And a lot of people are like, yeah, but you do it. Yeah, of course I do, because it's easier. That doesn't mean that it's supposed to be like that. It's not. So there's a lot of things that they could fix that they will never fix. Because they could have fixed it a long time ago. D4 is going to be an open world with mounts, basically another WoW reskin. I really hope that that's not true. Mana burn, yep. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that. I'm not interested in Path of Diablo. I like the way that this game runs, so I don't really want something else. I know a lot of people would look at that and go, what are you talking about? Who cares? I like this game the way it is. I don't feel that I want to play another version of it that's been completely altered. And I mean completely altered. It's too much of a modification for me. I'm just not into it. If you guys are, that's, you know, hey, that's off to you. I've tried looking into it and I just didn't really interest me. Hey. The skin may not be different, but all the skills, everything, like the fundamentals of how the game work are pretty different. Which means it's not even really this game anymore. If you changed just a few things, that'd be fine, but they changed, like, everything. East, Peter. That's what I was saying, I think, a few nights ago when I last streamed, was if they made Diablo 2 remaster like the StarCraft 2 remaster, I'd be perfectly okay with that. Just give me upgraded graphics and don't change anything. If they're not going to do that, but if they did that, then I would be perfectly fine with it. I don't know, maybe they did change some things in StarCraft that I'm not aware of, but when I played it, it seemed pretty much the same. And I liked it. I thought it was good. See, the problem with them quote-unquote fixing things is that the way they fix things will more than likely not be the way that we think they should fix things, and that's the underlying problem. Here I come. I mean, I'm just leveling up. I mean, if you want to be in here with me, that's fine. Kind of boring, but yay. If you got something to level up, go for it. I think 105 is max. I can't remember. Ah. Lightning bed. Well, let's be real. The skills on this game are unbalanced too. There's a reason why, like, what percentage of the game is playing Paladin? It's a really high percentage because the Paladin is super utilitarian, and that's not balanced. The Sorceress used to be in that position too, but they nerfed her into the ground. Now, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with that, but they didn't do anything about the Paladin. And then they added Enigma, which made it even worse because now she got power crept on top of getting nerfed. So it's like, okay, that's not actually fixing the problem, you're just creating a new one. But Hammerdens, Smiters, Oridans, there's like a million different Paladin builds. Zealers. You know, there's just tons and tons of ways to play a Paladin successfully in Hell with no problem. Especially because he gets the ability to block so good. It just, yeah, he's insane. But that's why everybody plays him. They're all mine. Oh, I missed one. Don't worry, I got those bolts. Very important. No, 105 is not max. Does the Oridon gear glitch still work? It does. Still work. Yes. I don't know if it works exactly the same way though, but it does still work. I'll be real with you. Even without it, it's still pretty overpowered. So even if it didn't work, like I have an Aura Sorcerer, I can't speak. Sorceress, not Sorcerin. That I don't even glitch the auras, and she's still extremely powerful. Even in Hell, I just cast Static Field and they drop dead. So, yeah. Obviously, the Paladin doesn't have Static Field, but you get my drift. What do you mean? What should my carrier be selling, stashing stuff, or IDing? It's all according to your picket, so it's going to depend on which one that you're using. The LLD one, like I said, I haven't really looked at it very much, but I don't know what it's going to be grabbing and then selling. But that's what you're going to want to do, is make sure that it sells anything it doesn't need. That way you can get extra gold. But keep in mind that it might sell something you don't want to sell, so you kind of have to go through and edit the picket to your liking. Yep, Pan, that's exactly right. It is really annoying. Sometimes I think they do it on purpose. You know, just to just to have it so we can't use it. I don't know what PD2 is, sorry. Big fan of yours, Kolva, shout me out. Jody, thank you very much. I'm a fan of you as well. Thank you for watching. We need a start of ladder picket that picks up low roll trash, like a poor man's Viper's Magi. Yeah, really anything is good. Mara's is very expensive, even the really crappy ones. Viper Magi is fantastic too. Do I play any other games besides D2? I do. If you have ever, well, you may not have seen it, but I did post a link on my other channel where I play lots of other games. Mostly old games, but some new games on my Dark Vigilante channel. Hold on, I'll link it in chat for you as soon as I find it. I am playing US East. Resident Evil 2 playthroughs, yep. The remaster I've played a ton of. I really like the remaster for Resident Evil 2. I don't really consider it as good as the original, but I think it's still a fantastic game. I actually didn't like Nemesis, but a lot of people did apparently, so I played it and couldn't get into it. 2 I genuinely liked, thought it was good. Which is why I've beat it the way I have, very fast with the maximum rank, no saves, no damage, blah 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 blah. So you don't like a game unless you want to try to beat it without getting hit, because that's ridiculous. It's definitely very challenging. Oh, very cool, AJ. I appreciate it. Thank you. You don't need to do that, though. This is good enough, honestly. There's a lot of people in here, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'm pretty close to 60, so I won't be needing this too much longer. I'm going to go to bail runs. And usually the public bail runs are the ones that are full, so if you want to, I'll follow yours, but there's really no need. Normally the bot will go through its items when it goes to town or when it's full. So when it gets full, it'll go, or if it goes to town to go to like the next act, it will identify and sell and all that good stuff at that point. So if it's not doing that, then something's not quite right. What do you think of RE4? Do you think they'll remaster it? Yeah, they'll remaster it. I'm pretty sure RE4 is their baby. Everybody likes RE4. I like RE4, but it's not a Resident Evil game. But it made them a ton of money. They remake it on every console known to man every single time. They make a ton of cash off of that, so they'll definitely remaster it. This is not my first character for the season. I do not have a Blizzard Sorceress. I don't actually bot nearly as much as you guys might think. I made the Aura Sorceress build. That was my first character of the season. Because I actually don't bot every single season. Might seem a little weird, but I actually kind of like playing like this more than I do botting. So... What's your opinion on Diablo 3? Pretty much the same thing as the Resident Evil 4. It's not a Diablo game. It's a World of Warcraft game that's been reskinned and certain assets or certain attributes of Diablo moved to it. It's not a bad game, but overall I wish it didn't exist. That's the sad part, because it's not a proper sequel to this game. There's no trading, there's no dueling. Basically the things that make this game fun for me in the in-game don't exist in Diablo 3. And that's kind of why I don't really like it and wish it wasn't around, because we could have got something a little bit better, a little bit different. Do I need Ancients to be done? I will need Ancients to be done, yes. And... let's see. I don't know what level I'm at, but we're close. We're very close. Let's see. 53, so it won't be too much longer. Yeah, David, you definitely should. And if you don't mind sharing it, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that'd be good too. I threw my D3 CD in the garbage back in 2012, never looked back. I don't blame you. I really don't. I bought the, as I like to call it, the Holy Shit Edition, which is the collector's edition, and immediately regretted it. Again, it's not a bad game. It's just not a game. It's not a Diablo game. It's the same thing with Resident Evil 4. It's not, in my opinion, it's not a Resident Evil game, but it's a good game. It's the same thing. But when that's the sequel you get, and that's not the sequel you want, you tend to not like it very much. Oh no. You know, it's funny. I wish I could say that's the first time I've heard that, but it isn't. Jaw-ith bear in a Griswold armor. Ripperini. I've seen it done in magical armors also. So they get like a three-socketed mage plate that's magical. They'll do it there too. It's funny how people blame bots for literally everything. Long queues, errors in the game. They even blame bots for the chat bug. It's like you realize we had bots like 10 years ago and the chat bug didn't exist. So unless they intentionally put the chat bug because of bots, there's really no credence to that whatsoever. Bear, wait, Bear Mall, Bear is, and a 4 open sock. Warpike, oh, that one hurts. That one hurts. Breath of the Wild isn't a Zelda game, but it's a good game. You know, now that you said that, it actually makes me want to play it. I don't like Zelda games. Never have. But now that, like, since you said it that way, I'm kind of interested now. But then again, it's an open world game, so I don't know how much I care for that. Everybody loves open world games right now. I'm not a big fan. I get bored. What is the best way to hit me up? That's a good question, really. Do you have a Discord I suppose you could hit me up on? What is it that you need? Oh, for the picket list. Her. Yeah, let me get that for you. Hold on a second. Well, the thing is about the servers is that um, the servers are just not, they're not well maintained and they're not done correctly. They never have been. They literally have never been good. D2 servers have always been junk, regardless if there's a million bots or 5 bots. So it really doesn't make any difference. Yeah, just click the gem 650,000 times. Or you can go to the Dark Vigilante forums. You can hit me up there too. That's good too. D4 going to be open world? Yeah, probably. And if it is, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to skip it because I don't have any interest in that. I don't know. Everybody loves open world games like Ghost of Tsushima, Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto 5. All these open world games, they bore me. They're like, well, you could play the story. You don't have to just roam around. I understand. I just don't care to. It doesn't interest me. All right, AJ, I'll go in there, bud. Yeah, so D3 tricked me also, and that's actually something that I learned way back then, is when a new game comes out, what you should do is don't buy it right away, unless you absolutely are 100% sure you want it. Just wait. Not only that, but if you wait a little while, depending on if it's an online game, you probably don't want to do that. But if it's a single player game or a story driven game, who cares when you buy it? It doesn't matter. Just don't look at spoilers. Don't go to all the websites and all the reviews. Just ignore all that stuff. And then when you feel ready or you feel like you want to get it, you hear somebody tell you, hey, look, the game is actually really good. You should try it or whatever. Then go get it. I did that with The Last of Us. I didn't get any spoilers, the very first Last of Us, not the second one. And didn't see any spoilers, didn't let anybody tell me anything, no reviews, nothing. And I enjoyed the game because of that. Because a lot of people are like, oh, it's overhyped, it's not that good. If I had listened to that, I may not have liked it as much. But because I didn't listen to anybody and ignored everything, it turned out that it was a lot better. So, hey, Joshua, how you doing? Yes, sir, we have a stream. Last of Us 2 is great. Again, I haven't played it yet. Please don't spoil it for me. If you do, I'm being angry with you guys. But I have seen some things, but by and large, I mostly ignore that stuff, and I'm going to make my own opinion regardless of whether people say it's good or not. I actually just installed it to my PS4 like a couple days ago. I just haven't gotten around to playing it yet. And I've seen a ton of stuff on it, unfortunately. But, um, I just want to play and see if I like it. I don't really care what other people say. I hate game journalists and game reviews and stuff nowadays because they're always so divisive and politically driven and motivated. It's like I don't care about any of that stuff. I just want to see if I like it or not. Not interested in all that jazz. I play games to get away from that stuff, not to uh, go deeper into it. Hey, John, how you doing? Hope you're doing good. Leveling stream for the win. Yeah, you bet. Gotta level the most overpowered character in the game. Very important. US East, yes. Dude, the heat wave here was insane. The last 2 days have been. It's so dark out right now that it looks like it's nighttime, but it's not. And that's beautiful. I'll take that any day of the week. It's been like really dark and dreary and rainy, and I'm happy about it. Because the last 4 days before today were horrible. They're absolutely unbearable because most people here, including me, don't have air conditioners. So it was just disgusting. It was like almost 102 degrees. It was not fun. So I don't know where you're at, but it is not fun here. I won't tell you what city, but I live in northern Arizona. If you figure out the city, pat yourself on the back. Sooner or later, somebody will find out anyway, but I'm not going to make it easy for you. Just be a basement dweller. We don't have basements in Arizona. That's actually part of the problem. I don't know why that is, other than the flooding issues that come up here. But yeah, hardly anybody here has basements. I think the entire time I've been living here, I've seen one basement in 30 plus years of living here. So there you go. Not common, and you hardly ever see them. Oh man, 110 plus is disgusting. Yeah, it's funny that 105 feels better, right? You know, you wouldn't think that that it would, but it genuinely does. I used to live in Phoenix, Arizona, and it can get up to 115. Sometimes, if you're really unlucky, it can go as high as 120. And that's in the shade, by the way, because they take temperatures from the shade, not from the sunlight. And it was really not fun. Let me tell you, that's brain damage temperature right there. What is it, like anything like 110 or 115 or higher is actually brain damaging or something like that? I can't remember, but yeah, it's insane. Just crazy heat waves. Which is why I moved away from there. SoCal doesn't have basements either. Yeah, I believe that. Because California is not really all that dissimilar from here, really, in terms of how they live and the type of buildings they build and stuff. That's no joke. People really do die in that weather. The homeless down in Phoenix, they actually try to put them into the hospital or into shelters, or some people will just like literally bring them inside with air conditioning because they're actually worried they could die. I've seen cops put them in cop cars and just let them sit there with them because it's so hot that they just don't want them to get hurt. It's freaking crazy. Basement stays 72 all year tops. Well, just rub it in, why don't you? I'd love to have a basement that was 72 degrees year round. Although, to be fair, I actually like it a little cooler than that. Um, but I would take it in the summertime for sure. I mean, I could go buy an air conditioner, I just don't want to. There's only like maybe a month and a half where it's super hot, and usually I just, suffer it and be done with it essentially. It's sometimes 2 months, but usually it's not too bad. Once the rain comes, it's usually pretty good. Like today, it's raining and really dark, and it's not very hot at all. So that I don't mind. Oops. See, I like the cold though. I'm a redhead. I like the cold. Cold for me is good. Sunlight is bad. I shouldn't even be living in Arizona. I probably have like 19 different forms of skin cancer that they haven't even identified yet because of this state. Like, very seriously, I should not even live somewhere where the sun is this terrible, but I happen to like the state. So, it is what it is. Yeah, you guys can feel free to add me as a friend on Discord if you want to. I don't mind talking to you guys at all. I don't know when I can get to you or say hi or whatever because sometimes I'm busy, but I try to do my best even on YouTube to respond to your guys' comments and all that. So just give me a little time and I'll get to you eventually. I get close to 300 or 400 messages a day, and then sometimes the comments are about 100 to 200 comments. It depends on like if the ladder reset or not and all that jazz. So I try to talk to all you guys as much as I can. So if I don't feel like I'm doing it personally or anything, it's just a matter of time. There's cool wild tarantulas and lizards in Arizona. Yeah, so horny toads. I don't know, that's not their real name, but that's what we call them here. I love catching those because they're cool little lizards. Or are they lizards? I don't know. Whatever they are, they're really cool. And tarantulas are, you can actually sell them here. So people keep them as pets. So if you go to the lakes down by Phoenix, you can actually catch the tarantulas at night by the hundreds, and people will pay you $20 per tarantula. Well, okay, they were paying $20 for them back in the day. I don't know what they cost now. Might be more, might be less. I have no idea. When I was a lot younger, we used to take um, revolvers and 22 rifles and shoot rattlesnakes, skin them, sell the meat, skin the snake, and sell the skins for cowboy boots. Very, very lucrative. Very lucrative. A lot of people are against that kind of stuff, but considering I didn't have a lot of money, I was living on my own by the time I was 13 years old, I didn't have a lot of choices. So, that was one of the things I decided I was going to do. Gila monsters are really dangerous, actually. Gila monsters have really nasty, poisonous mouths. You do not want to get bit by one of those. You could actually have an infection so bad they could cut off your arm because of it. It's really bad. The cholla cactus are always hilarious. There's a meme floating around that says how to spot a tourist in Arizona, and it's a guy with cholla cactus all over his body. They call him jumping cactus, and there's a reason they call him that. I had a experience one time when I was really young. My dad took me fishing, as he did a lot. And we went to the lake and we saw these tourists taking pictures of the cholla cactus. And they were getting really close to that cholla cactus. And my dad stuck his head out the window and he goes, "Hey, they don't call those jumping cactus for no reason. Keep your distance from those." And as we were pulling away, we actually heard some screaming. So I'm assuming they touched it. Don't do that, by the way. Yeah, $20 each for tarantulas was a fantastic deal. In the 90s, $20 was a lot of money. Hey, moose are pretty cool. Moose is a lot of food if you're allowed to hunt them. So, I went to Arizona and climbed on an ancient ruin. This ex-marine wanted to fight me. Wow, that is... Where do I even start with that statement? What ancient ruin? Because there's a ton of them here. The food here is fantastic. Because we're so close to Mexico, the food is amazing here. Like, genuinely amazing. The Mexican restaurants are so good. So good. There's a lot of small towns and stuff that have really good food too. Like, you wouldn't expect some podunk town in the middle of nowhere to have the world's best pie, but I swear they do. Freaking amazing. Pan fried, that's interesting. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what to say with that. I mean, I don't really like people messing around with stuff either, but I don't think I'd go that far. Why do I play on East servers? The player population, and that's about it, really. There's not really a good answer for that. I could play on Europe, I suppose. I just never do. The ping on Europe is even worse. US West, I was playing on that, but the player population just isn't good enough, so I kind of gave up on it. If we had to evacuate Earth and could only bring one cuisine, I would choose Tex-Mex. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good choice. Closer to my location? Yeah, I mean, technically West is closer to me, but East is not too terrible. If you don't mind. If you don't I'm actually 60 now. If you could do ancients, that'd be fantastic. But like I said, dude, don't trouble yourself. I have a character that can do it too, so if you want to, I won't stop you. But otherwise, don't worry about it. There is more players on East than West. So if you're playing West, there's a lot more players on East than there is on West. I actually remember looking at JSP figuring that out because I was looking at JSP trading. I'm like, wow, there's just nothing going on. There was like 40 posts in like 5 hours at the time I was looking at it. I'm like, that's not really very good. It's going to make it harder for me to get some stuff that I want, so I'm not going to do that. And East seemed very lively still, so here we are. Yeah, I'm ready to bail. Yeah, that's fine, man. Sure. Oh, I actually need Diablo killed as well. I did not mention that because I totally forgot. So we'll have to do that too if you want to help me do some ancients, unfortunately. Oh, reply doesn't work anymore? That's no bueno. I think reply still works in the lobby, but I don't think it works in game anymore. Which I wish it did, because it'd be a lot easier. US East, Delirium. Wow, that is a big bunch of garbage. Look at that. Yikes. Found better items than a porta potty. That was terrible. It could be. I'm not gonna look. The Fanged Helms don't bring a good premium. When people are looking for 5BOs, they pretty much exclusively want the Ariat style from my uh, dealings. I used to play West. We were discussing that a few times during the stream. I used to. Sounds good, man. Appreciate it. Am I gonna bot Pella? Maybe, but not likely. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this paladin yet. There was kind of a build I was looking at, thinking about doing, but I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if that build's going to work. So I like the weird and kind of quirky builds, so sometimes they're just not viable, which is why you won't see a video on the channel of them, but they're still fun to mess around with. Uncommon things that people don't generally do or use are kind of fun to mess with sometimes. For me. Ugh. See, like that. That's cool. I like stuff like that because it's weird. That's the kind of build that I would make because I like stuff like that. Thank you, sir. Slow AR though? Yeah, for sure. Not to worry. Like I said, if you're having issues or problems or anything, don't worry about it. I can just do pubs because there's plenty of pubs that do bail and whatnot, so I wouldn't worry about it. A 1010 Sork Torch, okay. Oh, thank you very much. You're awesome also. Oh, I got Ancients done. AJ did it for me. Thank you, though. The 7 team. Fancy. 8th key ban or disconnect makes realm down? I believe it. I usually can't even get 4 to work properly most of the time, which is why I run 2 to 3. Ah, I misclicked. Keys from box? What box? What box are we talking about? Like an actual D2 box? A virtual box? the box from that movie with Brad Pitt in it? What's in the box? No? Gotta love the teleporting Lord Des Seuss. He's fun. Yep, D2 box. Legit cereal. Yeah, I have quite a few. Over the years, I found quite a few in the thrift stores and stuff that I frequent, and surprisingly, many of them are not banned or disabled. So, be surprised. You know, if they're like $1 or something, it's worth it to pick them up. Is there a way to buy CD keys on GSP? There is, but I wouldn't. I think it's against terms of service, and not only that, but there's no guarantee that they'll give you keys that'll actually work. Because people know that they're not supposed to be selling them, that's a sure bet that they might rip you off. What Brian said. Did we miss a seal somewhere? What's going on here? Probably sell you a banned key? Yeah, very likely. Because basically from my understanding, their terms of service, if it's something against that, they won't even refund you the forum gold. So not only will you lose the forum gold, but you could also get banned for doing it. So yeah, not worth it. Not worth it, not even a little bit. Looks like they already did this one. Yeah, that's probably about right, Brian. There's no way to know if they're selling you unused keys, which likely they aren't. So that is kind of the best way. The other thing to consider is that if you buy keys, those are considered a digital item. So if you buy that with PayPal, it's not covered under their protection. So be very careful with that. A lot of people think that they can get a refund from PayPal no matter what they buy. That's not true. Anything that's digital, they don't cover you under buyer's insurance or whatever. So yeah, just take that advice. Trust me, I've been burned on it. Bought a bunch of keys on eBay. Guy accidentally multi-sold a few keys, 2 of which were mine, but he made things right and got me 2 unique keys. That's good at least. Because that could easily have gone the other direction too, so it's nice that they were a legitimate seller that wanted to make you happy. The demon's heart. It's trash. Yeah, I remember back in the day what you guys were talking about was true. You could use 1 key on different realms. I think I asked that the last stream and somebody corrected me and said they can't do that anymore. Which is probably a good thing, to be honest with you. It's kind of weird that you could do that in the first place. Oh yeah, a ton of the old keys that I had are banned. Or if they're not banned, they're redeemed. Because remember, if you redeem a 16-digit key, it no longer works. So if somebody gets a hold of an old key and then they make a Blizzard account and they redeem it, it's no longer good. So that's a thing too, which is really stupid. But that was their way of getting rid of a lot of those old keys. Oh, that'll do it every time. VPN connections will get you temp banned every time. I have some 16s also, but I'm just saying in general, you know, if they're used, you got to be real careful because it's not really worth keeping around due to the fact of what I just said, so. Kind of stinks. Yeah, we'll take that crappy amulet. That's what mine are too. I bought a Diablo 2 Collector's Edition from eBay a while back, and the keys were actually still good. And then I have some battle chests and things that I bought over the years. Either brand new or used, like I said, from thrift stores. There used to be a Goodwill clearance center, I think they used to call it, near me, and they would charge 25 cents per CD. So, you know, for a couple bucks, you can get all the Diablo 2 CDs with the keys intact for, you know, those couple dollars or whatever, so 100% worth. How are you seeing the in-game stats on the top right, bottoms, monsters, etc.? That is through Colbot with the D2 bot map entry script. If you look at my channel, I have a video for it if you're interested in getting it. It's basically a botting program, but you can run it manually as well. And you get some benefits such as what you're seeing here. What is the best minimum time for 4 characters? 10 plus minutes at least, in my opinion. I would even go so far as to say probably 12 minutes is better. I bought keys from Blizz that didn't work. What the heck? How? How's that even possible? It's not in the configs, it's just an entry point. When you look at your d2bot.exe or your profile manager, whatever you want to call it, there's a drop down menu for the scripts, and you just change it to that, and you get this. Like I said, there's a video on my channel if you're interested in using it. Very useful. I use it literally all the time. They didn't redeem. That's so weird though, because you would think if Blizzard gave you the keys, they would just automatically work. Very weird. I don't know. That just, at the same time, it doesn't surprise me, but it kind of does because it seems so stupid. But then I think to myself, it's Blizzard. So, anything is possible. Did you or can you make a video on the schedule setup? I don't even know. Does the schedule still work? I think it does. That is one that is in the works. I definitely want to do that one if it's still functioning. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They make mistakes. That's true. And of course, that would be acceptable. It's the number of mistakes that they make that's the problem. And they're not just minor mistakes either. They're huge mistakes. Like the in-game chat not working after 20 years of the game being out, for instance. just as an example. Usually if you guys don't see a video on my channel, it's either A, I couldn't get it to work, or B, I couldn't get it to work and there's zero documentation and no help whatsoever to tell me how to do it. And so a lot of times it's not that I don't want to do it, it's that literally there isn't any actual way for me to do it because I don't have an explanation so that I can't explain it to you. So the auto smurf is a great example of that. I finally had somebody explain it and show me, and then when I actually used it, I was like, this is terrible. This does not work very well at all. But I suppose if you really wanted to get it to work, you could. Do I know Java? I know some Java. Not enough. I know just enough to be dangerous with it. That's about it. I don't know as much as I really should. The syntax and stuff is where I get a little twisted around sometimes, so eventually I'll take a class or something and learn it properly so that I don't have to, have problems with it constantly. That's what I've heard. Smurf works better than Sonic? Kinda. Uh, yes and no. It depends on what it is that you want, I suppose. The problem with Smurf for me is they were constantly getting caught on everything. And I had to backtrack all the time to get them to come loose. But, yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's just not my preference is all. '76, yeah, I'm not surprised. Sonic is very buggy. Hi, do you know why my gnome options no longer show on screen when I log into the map mode? I really don't. There's probably a hotkey that you pressed that disabled it. I will try to find the hotkeys for you. Pretty sure it's just going to be something that you press that turns it off. It's probably not a big deal at all. Where is that anyway? It may or may not be on this list, but I'll let you take a look at it. Smurf is kind of interesting because sometimes it does like really, really well, and other times it's just absolute garbage where I'll have a character get stuck for like 9 hours and I won't realize it. Same thing though. Same thing as Auto Smurf. It like gets stuck on a wall or a door or something, and it can't get through it. And usually, it's early when you start it early. Once it gets going and it has teleport and whatnot, then it doesn't seem to be much of an issue. But before that, it seems to be where it doesn't want to work properly. Yeah, no problem, Pat. Like I said, I don't know if it's for sure in there. I haven't looked for that particular hotkey, but likely that's what it is. I should transfer over my Ondals to this character too. Forgot that I had one. I'll do that after this particular game. Because we should be 70 after this, so then I can use the Annie and the Ondals. I don't have a character that can do Ubers at the moment. All I have is the Aura Sorceress, and she's definitely not going to be able to do that. Her resistances are dumpster fire. Didn't even grab that. It's weird. Usually I have mine set to grab those. Found almost a whole Saigon set while I've been leveling. After wave 1 of Bale, pretty sure there is. There's a post about it on the forums on darkvigilante.site. I'm pretty sure one of the regulars there posted the instructions on how to do it. If I wasn't streaming, I'd link it to you, but I'm pretty sure there's a I don't want to say tutorial, but at least a guide on how to do it. Okay, so gonna do a couple things here. Number one, I'm gonna identify this Anahilus. So, what do you guys think it's gonna be? I'll make you guys a deal. If somebody guesses it exactly correctly, the exact stats correctly, I will send you 150 foreign gold on GSP. So let's see those predictions. While I go grab another drink. I'll be right back. JSP is where you can trade and sell items for what's known as forum gold. Um, and then you use that forum gold to buy other stuff. So instead of trading in game, you can trade on that website. Well, you still trade in game, but yeah, you use a form of currency. I'll ID the torch for you too if you want to see it. Might as well. Can't use it till 75 anyway, but. Alright, is that everybody's guess? Dark Vigilante is my JSP. With a C. 2020-10. If it's a 2020-10, I'm going to freak out. Because I have never. Well, I take that back. Did I get one? No, I don't think so. I got a 2010-9 once. Or no, a 2029, rather. And that was the best one I've ever had. I don't think I've ever actually rolled a perfect Annie. And I've rolled a lot of Annies. But I have never rolled a perfect one. 18-18-8. I like it. $19-19-10. Wow, that's really nice. All right, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A 10-10-8. Wow. If that was a 10-10-10, it would have been worth something. That's a dumpster fire. Absolute dumpster fire. Don't worry, I have the worst luck with RNG. This torch will likely be the same. Wowie. Alright, let's see what the torch is. Wow! Wow! Holy cow, that is one of the worst torches I have ever identified. Whew! I'm sure glad you guys got to see that, because I'm not sure anybody would believe it could get that bad. Oh, that's hilarious. So that luck is basically my luck in real life. I don't play games of chance and stuff like that because that's my luck. I don't play around with stuff like that. Worth more to sell unID'd? 100% it was worth more to sell an ID. Excuse me. Yeah, it was absolutely worth more. I need to transfer over my ondels. Let me see what CD key I have here. Ready to go to do that real fast. Ooh, an insight. I assume you're giving this to me? Okay. Better than nothing. If you're transferring it, I'll give it back to you. Whoever that was. I didn't catch it. Llama is very lucky. Does Ondel's experience only count towards enemies you kill while using it? I don't think so. I do not believe so. I think it counts just in general. Can somebody confirm that? Because now I'm starting to doubt myself. Shares all experience gained. That's what I thought. You're welcome for the Cobalt guides. Glad I helped you out. Ooh. I'm assuming you're giving these to me, so if I'm taking them and you need them back, you just let me know. I hear mixed things on it, not sure if worth using if character is passively leeching. Supposedly it is. But think about it like this. Even if it's not doing anything, it doesn't hurt anything either. So, you know, might as well go for it, right? Because there's nothing to lose, essentially. So you might as well just go for it anyway. Thank you. Oh, that is pretty nice for treachery. You guys don't have to give me anything, by the way. Don't feel obligated to ever give me anything. That goes for donations or anything. The only thing I'm asking you guys to ever do for me is subscribe, please. That's it. And that's free. So if you want to do more, I'm not going to stop you. But you don't need to. I need another cigar in a minute. Excuse me. How many bots are you running right now? I'm not actually running any, believe it or not. Hey, Brian, I really appreciate that. That seriously means a lot to me. It really does. Because I hear a lot of people say that they just don't subscribe to anybody. But I do appreciate it when you guys do. It helps. Believe me, it does actually help because it increases the chances that you guys will click on future videos or streams or whatever. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. So I genuinely do appreciate the subs. Oh, very nice, Steven. Don't worry, I rolled a 10-10-8, so I got the better ante. You should just excuse me, you should trade yours straight across for mine. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. A 20-20-10 is freaking amazing. Those are awesome. Like I said, I don't think I've ever rolled one. Crazy feeling? I bet. When I rolled the 20-29, it was a pretty crazy feeling because I knew it was very valuable. At the time, I think this was pretty early on. I want to say I made like 600 forum gold off of it or something, which at the time was quite a bit. Yeah, I seen. You saw me get trolled live. Blizzard heard me talking trash about him, so they ensured that I got crappy rolls. Is that what you're trying to say? All right, Star. See you later. Thanks for stopping by. The torch was brutal. Well, I will let you decide if you think that was brutal or not. An ID Annie, it's not going for much. Like 20. I think it's 20 or 25 for an NID. They're cheap. Very, very cheap. So it's not a big deal if you get a crappy one because you can buy another one on JSP if you have the foreign gold. Oh, no worries, man. I'm just playing around anyway. Like I said, I don't expect anybody to give me anything. Hey, HOZ. Oh, seriously, man, you don't have to do that. It's nice that you did it, but you don't have to. I actually have pretty good luck with HOZs. Usually I don't get like the really low ones. I've rolled a bunch of perfects. Those ones I usually get lucky. Of course, now that I said that, I just jinxed myself, but we'll see. Although, with a hammer paladin, it doesn't matter so much. 168? Hopefully not. Or are you saying the defense is 168? Because the defense is 169. $196. That's a pretty good roll. Although I would trade it for a better roll on the ante. Not going to use that right now, though, because I want to level up some more. I don't even have a cube, I just realized. Ripperoni. Ah, that's because I had somebody else level me up, that's why. I'm just going to toss that, and that, and that. I need some of these low runes for something else I'm doing, so... Well, isn't low, but... Is it actually expensive on JSP? No, it isn't. Even perfect HOZs are not very expensive. Mater hammered in, barely does damage and has... I'm assuming that's supposed to be survival issues? Yeah, it is. Can't get res, gloves, or boots to save my life. Well, so with the hammer paladin, generally you're going to run concentration aura maxed. So your damage should be pretty high. Even without grand charms or anything, should be pretty decent. In terms of resistance, usually my gloves and my boots I don't even bother with. The HOZ with an in it is a huge amount of resistance. What else? What else has resistance? Maras. You should be using Maras if you're not. I don't remember what else I use that has resistances on it. Of course, an Annie and a Torch would help a lot, especially if they're high rolls. Had a perfect HOZ and a perfect Annie? Yeah, that's real lucky there. That's very lucky. Hodo, that's what I was missing. That's the one. That's 40 res if you get a perfect. I wouldn't go with those though. Yeah, I mean Alders is not bad, but Hellmouth I definitely wouldn't use Hellmouth personally. Usually with the Hammered I'm looking for a little bit extra cast, so I'd probably be using Trangs or Mage Fists. Yeah, the Whiz Spike is a great replacement for Hodo actually. It's actually really good because of that. The only reason Hodo is generally used over Whiz Spike is the plus $3 skills, which, that's pretty massive. But that's the only reason why, you would use one over the other, basically. Alright, I'm going to go run some more Sea Bales. Oh, sure, yeah. I totally understand that. The cookie cutter builds are really boring. Yeah, I'm on board with that. They truly are. But there's a reason why they're around. You know what I mean? Ah, +2 to bow. If that was +3, it'd be faith capable. But +2 is just not good enough. 11k-ish hammers is plenty good enough, honestly. Yeah, 12k is good too, like I said. You don't really need more than I would actually say 10k would probably be sufficient for most cases. Especially for botting. You don't need massive damage. So, probably be fine. Go on Druid? What did you need me to go on the Druid for? Oh, okay, I see. Thank you, I appreciate that. Oh, rip, 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 rip. Oh boy. That was almost a disaster. Thank you for that, Brian. Appreciate it. Yeah, getting the loot is another story, especially Enigma. That's the big one, obviously. Is anybody even going for the... They're just sitting here in town. What are they doing? Well, I guess I shouldn't say anybody because I'm sure it's mostly bots. There we go. Soj count? Not sure I follow. Which IP has one? Ah, missed it. I think it was just lag, or he was doing other things. It looked like he had it set up to go do other stuff before it did bail for some reason. Because they weren't even in the areas before the throne either. So, but yeah, it would just sit there if the Sojas were sold, just to see if we get a declone game. Ew. Not very good drops. Thought I was gonna get temp banned there. I was like, come on, don't do that. Don't be like that. Ah. Tall's helmet. Nothing to write home about, that's for sure. Yeah, I've done that before. When I watch people play World of Warships, I find myself always trying to change the camera angle so that I can see around them because they get target focused. And I don't like that because I like to see what's going on around me. And they're just like staring at the same thing the whole time. Like, stop doing that. I want to look around. What are they doing? Okay, interesting. Took a little longer than I expected. Oh, for sure. I mean, I've played this game forever, so I don't know if I'm quote unquote good at it, but I'm proficient at it. I don't know all the little, nooks and crannies of the game like some people do, but I know enough to be dangerous. But yeah, a lot of people on YouTube, it's pretty funny, like the people that play on Twitch sometimes, even with Diablo 2 or Diablo 3 is another weird one, that they're just like really bad at the game. And you're watching it and it's very cringy. I mean, you don't have to be an expert or a professional, but at least be proficient. Know what you're doing. Unless you just started playing, I suppose. But I think with most of these Diablo games, I'm pretty sure they've been around for a while. So, maybe get with the program. Interesting. I know there was quite a few programs that stopped working after one of the Ninja patches they did. A lot of the PvP mods and stuff that they had stopped working after that. Pretty sure you messaged me on JSP? I'll check it here in a minute. Okay. Yeah, Red Vex, yeah. I enjoyed Red Vex. I liked messing around with it. It was fun. I pretty much exclusively used it to cheat in Classic so I could get to Act 5 to socket items. I really didn't use it for much more than that. Forget what this is. Ah, yeah, Snake Horde. It's terrible. Yeah, that's what I figured. Red Vex, yeah, it is a throwback. It most definitely is. You did message me on JSP, by the way. I got it. Brian. Yeah, Red Vex was just neat to play around with. just to like manipulate certain things. Wow, yeah, that's extremely rare. To drop 2 burr runes is like next to impossible. Not saying it couldn't happen, but the chances of that are very, very low. I don't think I've ever seen 2 high runes drop in one game. At least not that I recall. Right, just in case. I don't think it would have mattered if you would have MF'd the rest of the game, to be honest with you. But hey, you never know. When you're hot, you don't stop, right? You just keep going, so. Who knows? One of the best drops that I remember getting was Tyrael's armor, because that's really, really hard to find. It dropped in a pub game, and I actually snagged it. I was like, oh man, that's so cool. See, I don't remember that, and I've heard that multiple times now. I heard there was a season where like everybody had Annie because of some weird, like, problem or something. I don't remember what it was exactly, but I've heard that. Yeah, 2 burrs is crazy. That's insane. Okay. Interesting. Imagine being sick of killing the declone. I don't know if I could get sick of that because I'd be going for that perfect Annie. Because regardless of how many drop, there's still not going to be a ton of those perfect ones running around. And when you go to non-ladder, it'll still be worth something after you leave ladder. So I still would have went for it regardless. Although they probably would have thought it was a dupe on non-ladder because they think everything's a dupe. Although I haven't been on non-ladder in so long, I don't know if it's still that bad, but it used to be. It figures, right? When you had like unlimited chances, you never had to drop a perfect Annie for you, but when it actually mattered again, you roll a perfect one. I would probably just sell it. If I was in your shoes, I would just sell it. Because I don't really have much need of a perfect one. That's just me though. Although I don't know how much they're going for. If they're only going for like 100 forum gold for a perfect, then I wouldn't sell it. But if they're going for like 1,000 or 1,200, I would. Oh, definitely. D2's loot system is super trolly, and it keeps you playing because you don't know whether or not you're going to get that good thing or not. So, makes you want to just continue to play long after you should have stopped and gone to bed. I know. I did sell it, got 2K. See, for 2K, I would have sold that instantly. I absolutely would have sold that. 2K is a lot of forum gold. That is a lot. You could probably fully equip, like, what, 10 characters, maybe more, with 2K if you did it right? I mean, that's insane. Mm, they have a hunter script, I'm pretty sure, on one of the scripts for Colbot. That would probably be the best way. You could just do it yourself, though. You could create a game and sit there for 5 minutes and then leave and make a new game and do it again. No, I'm just kidding. The Searcher is the best way to do it, or Declone Hunter, whatever they're calling it in Colbot. You could do that. You could just save all those sojas that you find using Colbot and then just get your own declone. It helps if you get other people to do it with you too. So if you know some people that are running bots also, and you guys all have a bunch of sojas, you can put them all together. It'll be a lot easier. That's what we used to do. This is East, Daniel, yes. There you go. Gary put it up for you. Nice. Might get a few games in with you after I'm done eating. Yeah, sure. Go for it, man. I don't know how much longer I'll be on here. I'm probably going to stop somewhat soon. I don't know when yet. Haven't decided. I'm starting to get hungry. I don't know what time it is here. I haven't even looked. It's about 6 o'clock, so dinner time. Oh yeah, I forgot they did correct that, didn't they? For some reason I was thinking it still worked, but then you're actually 100% right. They patched it or whatever. I guess patch isn't like the proper word. Just we didn't download anything. It's server side. But yeah, it is annoying, but it does make sense if you think about it. Because why would you let non-ladder spawn, spawn free Annies for ladder, especially when there's like 17 billion Sojas on non-ladder? I mean, it makes sense. It's just when you want an Annie and you don't want to pay a lot for it, it gets kind of a bummer. Oh, did they? Okay. I didn't know that. You do still sell Sojas, but you can't sell them on non-ladder to ladder, although Ben is saying that you can do it, so I don't know. They didn't pick up a Shaco. Oh, it's really crappy. That's why they didn't pick it up. Uh, okay. I mean, I don't care. That's fine with me. Free Shaco. That's what I thought too. I do remember them patching it out, so. Interesting. I'm gonna look for that thread and see if I can test that out for myself, because that is definitely interesting. Because as far as I knew, that wasn't possible anymore. So if it is, that's pretty cool. Got a full game now. I'm assuming he's doing other stuff? Yeah, looks like it. Tower and Kata. These guys are in chaos, so it shouldn't take too much longer. Yep. Definitely more people slowly joining. Whoops. That wasn't at all what I wanted to do, but that's okay. Mine. It's a lot of stats. Too bad it's garbage. That's interesting. I always liked Diablo 2, but I played Diablo 1 a ton. And then when I saw Diablo 2, I knew I was going to like it because it was so similar to Diablo 1. Only, massive quality of life upgrades. So, yeah. I'm not a huge hack and slash fan in general, but this particular one just rubs me the correct way. I don't know why, but it always has. Some antlers. So these antlers will be F repair, white, 5 NATO, with 40 life, right? That's exactly what they'll be. Darn. That's how I kind of feel too, Steven. It's the same situation for me. As long as they don't fundamentally change the game to where it's not even the same anymore, I don't really have a problem with it. But it's Blizzard, so we have no idea what they're going to do or how it's going to look. And for whatever reason with the remasters, they don't really tell you anything. It just kind of just, here it is. It's done. They sort of show you stuff, but not really. So you don't get a good grasp of what it is that they're changing. And that's the worrisome part, is we don't know what's going to actually happen. Pretty much. In the end, if all they did was upgrade the graphics, I would be okay with it. I really would. But we don't really necessarily need anything else. Don't even change the art style or anything. Just leave it the way it is. Just give us better visuals. That's it. That's what I was hoping Diablo 3 would be. Upgraded visuals with Diablo 2 style gaming. But quickly found out that wasn't the case. '60 FPS would be nice. 4K would be nice also, obviously. Whatever the highest resolution they can give us is fine by me. I run everything in 1440p, so the higher the better, obviously, but as long as it's that or higher, I don't care. It's really all we need. Resolution and frame rate. I mean, if they can do an unlocked frame rate, that'd be even better. You know, give me my 6,000 frames per second, please. Yeah, see, that's the thing, is they get like too in depth with it. They want to do too many things that they really don't need to be doing. And that's where they run into problems. They think they can improve the game, or they think that they're making a positive change, when in reality they're really not. So, but I genuinely think they want to make a positive change. I don't think they purposely mess the games up, because that wouldn't make any sense. How are you going to sell a game that nobody wants? Yeah, they're not remastering it to make $0. So to me, I'm pretty sure they want to make it good, but knowing how to do something and wanting to do it are two different things. Listening to the fans is something they should definitely be doing. I'm pretty sure no fan ever said, yes, please destroy Warcraft 3 in every way possible. Give us a really crappy remaster that everybody hates, and then, we'll buy it. Like, I'm pretty sure that never happened. I can almost guarantee you they will make a modern account versus an old school account, and they most likely won't let you be logged in multiple accounts at the same time. I can just about guarantee you that's what they're going to do. Which, that's pretty normal nowadays anyway, so. The thing is, that's what cuts down on botting in the end. That's what really does it. So I can't really say as I blame them if they do that. Hey Joshua, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Yeah, the not being in the same game, and then there's a timer limit on Diablo 3 items. So even if you're in the same game as where that item fell, there's only so many, I think it's like, 4 hours, 8 hours, whatever it is stupid. And then on top of that, it can only be traded with the people that were in that game. And then it gets even worse than that. Whoever found the item originally, it will roll stats based on their character class. So if you find a barbarian weapon, it will likely roll intellect if you're a wizard and you find that weapon or item or whatever. So it's like the worst of every possible situation for that. Like, it couldn't get any worse. One hour? Okay. Yeah, it's just stupid. The whole thing is just really dumb. And I know why they're doing it. They're doing it because they don't want bots, even though Diablo 3 is botted anyway. They don't want trading because trading doesn't benefit them in any way, since they got rid of the real money auction house. So, I mean, I understand why they're doing it. I just fundamentally disagree with it. Those are really fun in-game things, end-game things that you can do. Like, once you beat the game and you're level 99, or, 6 trillion paragons, what is there left to do? And that was their hope, is that people would just level up their paragons forever. Get their paragons to 60 billion or whatever, instead of actually having something fun and useful to do. Leveling up is the most boring part of it. That's the thing they didn't understand, is that nobody actually likes leveling up forever. That's not fun. It's not enjoyable. D3 is nothing but cookie cutter builds. Literally, that's all it is. If you look at the ladder, like when they're, or the rankings, or whatever they call them on D3, when they restart the season, it's all cookie cutter crap. And that's all you're ever going to see. It's whatever is the most popular build for that particular season is the only thing anybody's ever going to use. And that's boring. That isn't fun. That isn't enjoyable. There's no creativity there. There's no difference there at all. And if you don't use that build, you're at a disadvantage. That's the worst part. Say you want to build a different build and you want to mess around, you're never going to do as good as those guys do. It'll never happen. D4, so far, I can't say I'm very impressed by it. We'll see. I have high hopes for it, even though I shouldn't. But I'm not super excited, and I'm not gonna buy it day one. That's gonna be one of those games that I kind of take a step back from and watch and see what it looks like before I purchase it. Because D3 burned me so hard, I'm not gonna do that again. This is very true. Trading in Diablo 2 is one of the number one reasons why the game is still being played to this day. That's 100% accurate. Look at JSP. Look at how many people frequent that website every day trading stuff. In-game, there are trade games all over the place. It happens all the time. D4 has potential if they listen to the fans. They have a track record of not listening to the fans. So that's, yeah. I mean, you're right. You're 100% right. But the problem is they usually don't. So if they listen to the fans, it's going to be a fantastic game. If they don't listen to the fans, it's going to be ugly. Oh, Diablo 3 was insanely hard. I played a barbarian when Diablo 3 came out. It was insane hard. Now it's a joke compared to what it was. You couldn't play the hardest difficulty when it first came out. Most people didn't have the gear to be able to do that. It was insanely hard. Which a lot of people complained about, but I don't know, I kind of liked it that way, to be honest. Diablo Immortal told me that? Oh boy. Don't you guys have phones? Basically that statement that they made with Diablo Immortal is how they truly feel about their fans. We don't care about you. All we want to do is make a ton of money. We don't care about you. We want to make 1 million microtransactions for $1 a piece. We don't care about your franchise, your storyline, your enjoyment of the game. None of that matters. All we care about is money. Which, I mean, that's every company. But usually they're smart enough to realize that they have to give you some carrot and less stick to accomplish that goal. I never played any of the Souls game except Demon Souls for the PS3 because it was an exclusive and I didn't have very many PS3 games. I really liked it. In fact, it's a travesty that it never got, at least I don't think it got, a remaster or a re-release. I think the only way to still play it is PS3, which is kind of meh. I mean, you can still play it; it runs just fine. But it'd be nice if we could get it remastered or at least put onto Steam or even PS5 or Xbox, whatever the crap it is now, since Microsoft can't count. That actually physically bothers me. They went from the original Xbox, because now I have to call it the original Xbox, and not the Xbox One. You know how you call it the PS1? You can't call it that, because there's an Xbox One that came out the third time. It just, so terrible. I don't know who came up with their naming conventions at Microsoft, but they need to be fired. It's terrible. I don't think Blizzard was really the same after the early 2000s anyway. I think it kind of just fell apart because a lot of the guys who were in Blizzard North and whatnot, a lot of them just wanted to leave to do other projects because Blizzard was big by then and they couldn't really do a lot of the things they wanted to do anymore, and their creativity wasn't really put very well to work, which is, very sad and disappointing, but that's the way it goes sometimes. EA is just as guilty as Activision is, if not worse. I mean, look at Dead Space. Dead Space 1 was amazing. I like Dead Space a lot. Dead Space 2 arguably is just as good. I like Dead Space 2 a lot too. It's one of the only games that I beat on like the hardest difficulty. And then Dead Space 3 comes out and you're like, what is this crap? And it's because they wanted to put a bunch of nonsense in it. And then they just killed off the studio. PoE should have been Diablo 3. You're probably right about that. But that's the closest thing to Diablo, what Diablo 3 should have been. That I have no idea, David. I never really cared to look into the business portion of Blizzard or Activision, to be honest with you. Neither company at this point is particularly my favorite. It is odd, but I think it's kind of the modern way they do things now in case somebody does something real stupid or whatever to protect themselves or whatever. I would assume that's the reason, but I don't actually know. Blizz North was D2? Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's not even an argument to be made there. That's a fact. Pretty much. That's basically spot on. But to be fair, Warcraft has made them a ton of money. Warcraft 1, 2, and 3 were great games, though. That's the thing. Like, I could kind of understand because they were fantastic games with really good lore. So it's not as if they were wrong to really like those. But it's not like Diablo 2 didn't make any money. It's not like Diablo 1 didn't make any money. Hell, Diablo 3 has done really well. So they're acting as though it's kind of like the redheaded stepchild, but in reality it did fine. But, it doesn't make them millions or billions of dollars per month on World of Warcraft, so they don't care. Half-Life 3. I don't think we're ever going to see that. And I'm not sure that's a bad thing either. Because what if it did suck? What if they did ruin it? That's the thing. It's like, well, maybe not making it was the smart choice. True. It wasn't treated with the same respect, and they didn't really think that. I think before that, they didn't really have as much confidence in it as they probably should have. The people who loved Diablo 1 and 2 were hardcore, so they would have bought whatever game came out next if it was good. There's just probably multiple copies. So, but like I said, if it's not World of Warcraft changed the whole landscape of everything. Trying to get money per month is way more important to companies nowadays than just making a really good experience that you play through and then, that's it. I mean, look at Netflix, look at Hulu, look at World of Warcraft, look at any subscription based service. That's what everybody wants to do because that's where all the money is. It doesn't mean it's actually better, it just means that that's where their money is going to be and that's why they want to do it. Oh man. Alright guys, I'm probably going to call it here. I'm getting pretty hungry. Thank you for watching. I'm not sure when the next stream will be. I will probably get one up either tomorrow or the next day. I'm not sure when. I will probably post it in the community section of my channel to let you guys know ahead of time from now on so that hopefully we can communicate a little bit better. I do enjoy the streams. I hope you do too. Hit the subscribe button. Do it. Do it if you haven't done it already. Do it. Can't speak. You guys take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.